Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABC Amber Television Live, as usual, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely in Houston, Texas. I want to salute all of you out there on ground zero, ground one, of course, not forgotten. It is always a privilege to come to you with updates on the Amazonian struggle for independence actualization. Many of you do not understand. We are not fighting for independence. This war is not a war of independence. It is a war for the actualization of our independence, ladies and gentlemen. So never you make the mistake of saying we are fighting for independence. We got independence. In fact, October 1st this year, in less than a month, just about in 2 weeks, we're gonna be celebrating, Amazonia will be celebrating its 60th anniversary. Independence anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. So again, this war is not about fighting for our independence. This war is about actualizing the independence of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. This is what this is all about. Again, it's a pleasure to be with you today. I come to you with updates on the struggle, the lockdown in particular. So if you are joining by way of Facebook, I'd like you to do me that favor. Of course, as usual, hit that share button. Hit that share button as I come to you with very, very important updates about the lockdown that we instituted from last week. We see so far so good. We are really excited with what we are seeing out there, in spite of relentless effort by enablers and blacklegs. People, it is amazing. People who want us to believe they are in this fight with us. They are the ones trying to make sure it doesn't work as if we are in the competition. It is not about a competition, ladies and gentlemen. This thing has nothing to do with competition. And so but it is amazing it is amazing how some people are putting in their best just to see that the lockdown doesn't hold, the lockdown fails, so they can go out and say the IG didn't succeed with the lockdown. This IG is not fighting for IG. This IG, ladies and gentlemen, is fighting for Amazonia. And so for anybody to think that if the lockdown fails, the IG fails, that is a very childish, amateur reasoning. But I'm going to be coming to that. So please, thank you for tuning in. For those of you from continental Europe, including the United Kingdom, please thank you for joining ABC Amber Live. And for those of you also tuning in from the continental USA, Canada included, please, it's a pleasure to be with you today. And those of you in South America, in Asia, please, thank you again for joining. If you are joining by way of Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that share button. Quite a number of things to talk about today, but I will be very much interested to take your calls, especially from ground zero, to know how things are going in your neck of the wood out there. If you are in Nkambe, you are in Bue, Kumbo, you are in Jakiri, you are in Indop, you are at Bali, Bafut, Batibo, anywhere you are, Menji, OIZ, I know nobody lives in Azi there. All right, but if you are anywhere in Amazonia, you got a phone, I'd like to hear from you. I will give some time to phone calls today. So ladies and gentlemen, once more, for those of you who are tuned in by way of Facebook, I want to see these numbers jumping. Please, I want to see these numbers jumping, and I can actually see them jumping right now. Please hit that share button, hit that share button. Let us populate this platform ladies and gentlemen. Now, while you do that, let me do a little house cleaning here with some nitty-gritties here. We have received information, ladies and gentlemen, of this range hike in the city of Boya and the surroundings. We learned that rains have suddenly quadrupled in the city of Boya and the surrounding towns. I want you to know that we here at the interim government, we are thinking about that, and we will do something. The landlords who decide to go selfish and greedy, avaricious, and in times of war, please, it is not the right time to do so, and we urge you to consider the fact that many people cannot hold jobs. Many people cannot and do not hold jobs at this moment, at this time of war. The pain is not only yours, you the landowners or the landlords. The pain is that of everybody out there in the city of Boya and the surroundings. So please, we at the interim government, we will take a decision, and I can assure you that decision will be enforced. You don't want to lose your property. Please behave yourself and be a good landlord and not an avaricious landlord. So please, we are encouraging every landlord out there. Please, we know that things are tough, things are difficult, but you cannot pass it on to somebody who is just struggling to survive, just as you yourself, you are struggling to survive. So please, before, we don't want to take any action right now, but if this crisis continue in Boya with rains issues, we will do something about it, and it may not be good. So we are keeping an eye on what is going on with the rains situation in Boya. And also in Bamenda, we have also learned of the aggression of French Cameroon colonial officials, the mayors and so on, going after businesses to pay taxes. I learned you don't pay taxes, they go by the night and they shut you down. You don't pay taxes, as we learned, they go at night, they shut down your shop, and by the time you get there in the morning, there's a lock on the shop, and you are compelled to go meet them and pay some fines. This is what we will do. This is what we will do. All those council officials who are coming around and shutting down your shops, all we need is where they live. Ladies and gentlemen, again, listen to me. All we need here to go after them is where they live, their personalities, their photographs, their pictures, wherever they live, wherever you see them, we need their photos. Nobody should be paying a damn tax to a colonial regime that has neglected the people and the city for years and years, and for 60 years, in fact, 60 years. Ladies and gentlemen, electricity, forget about that. Water, forget about that. Taxes to the colonial government, forget about that. Let them crumble. You will still live. All right. So again, we will need information about those tax collectors. We will need information about those tax collectors to go after them, to arrest the situation they are putting traders in Bamenda in. So send us that information, and the restoration forces will go to work. Again, they will go to work. And one thing I would like to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that please, things grind here very, very slowly, because we heard people grumbling, oh, why is the IG not doing something? Why is the IG not going after these people? You know, things do not work like that. It takes time to know who is doing what, to investigate those people, and also for action to be taken. So the fact that things may be slow, certain actions may be slow, you know that eventually they do come. We came after them in the Bamenda main market when they were trying to break those shops. We came after them. They went ahead and did it, but those of you who own the shops collaborated with them to break down those shops. So we try to do the best that we can do. We try to do the best we can do to go after every colonial official tax collector, especially with the reports coming from Bamenda. So please send us information about them. Send us information about them. By the end of this broadcast, I will be putting on a telephone number on the screen here with which you can pass any piece of information to this interim government. All right. Thank you for hitting your share button. Please keep on hitting your share button. Let's beat the record of last Monday. Was it Monday? I think so. Let's beat that record. I got very, very exciting things to bring to you today. Now, I will be joined, ladies and gentlemen, later in the broadcast by Bishop John Egiawan, who is the Director of National Security here at the interim government. He has a good handle with what is going on, the situation going on ground zero with the lockdown. Now, in fact, he has just sent me a piece of developing story here before he joins. He has just sent me a piece of a developing story from Fako County. Says this is a security alert. One guy, they call him Colonel Shaggy of Mountain Lions. Today is Thursday. Thursday, Colonel Shaggy of Mountain Lions of Fako started calling drivers and threatening them that if they do not drive today was Thursday on ground zero. It's still Thursday, but it's late. The day is far spent already. But this guy in Victoria, so-called Mountain Lions, I guess it's also Fako Action, something they call it. He says he was sending threats. This guy was literally acting like a lot of public will do, sending threats to drivers within Moyoka, Ekona, Muya, all that area, threatening them to go out and drive. That if they do not go out and drive, now let me read it. If they do not drive, you will deal with them. This is from a reliable source. Now this information is coming to me thanks to Bishop John Egiawan. Of course, he's a very trustworthy source. This is from a reliable source. This is intended to enforce their will against ghost towns. Again, what these guys are trying to do again, enforce their will against ghost town. Now, I would like every driver, private or public driver in Fako to know, one person does not enforce lockdown or ghost towns in Fako. Ghost towns or lockdown in Fako, they are enforced by very many Ambazonia restoration forces. And so if you are a driver out there and you think that you will listen to the voice of this guy, this Rook Colonel Shaggy, and say you will not go out, you will go out and drive, you go out and you put your vehicle in danger. You put your vehicle in danger. You saw what happened at Mbalangi, just a few kilometers from Kumba the other day. That guy with that bus, the driver of that bus, I guess he was trying to test the atmosphere to see what's going to happen to him. Unfortunately, passengers died and the vehicle was destroyed, I guess, beyond repairs. So if you are out there and you are listening to rook fighters, people will consider to be kidnappers and abductors, please, you will risk not just your car, but you will also risk your own life. This information is very important. Please, we have informed you, we have educated you. You do not have to take information about this lockdown from anybody. Again, you do not have to take information about this lockdown from anybody. The announcement of this lockdown, the announcement introducing this lockdown has not changed. Again, it has not changed. It has not changed. The lockdown continues as announced. And let me seize on this opportunity to appreciate all of you out there in the towns of Bamenda. Kumba in particular left us very, very, very proud. Kumba left us very, very proud, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the city. No, this is Bamenda. I am not very sure here, but I think this is. No, I think this is Bamenda. I think some people say this is Kumba, but this looks to me like Bamenda. Somebody tell me where that is. But Kumba was very, 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 I mean, they did a fabulous job. These are the streets of Kumba. These are the streets of Kumba. This was yesterday. Unfortunately, today we have not yet seen any footage coming from any of these major cities or towns. The only place where we've seen images for the day, I think, is Indu. Indu had some footages. Indu had some footages, and it was good. It was good. I wish I can find the images from Indu. The images from Indu. I wish I can find that. That was pretty. What is going on in Indu is pretty good. But I also have this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is today actually. This was today. Now this was happening in Batibo. This was happening in Batibo today. Today. Now I understand what this young guy. You can see he is pouring that palm wine right there on the public highway, public street. I understand that the palm wine tappers or sellers were carrying this to Mamfe to go and say that in spite of the fact that the road, Batibo Mamfe Road, has been shut down, but they were about to go out and sell this palm wine, and the restoration fighters got them and gave them a little lesson in discipline. A little lesson in discipline. I guess next time when we say the roads are shut down, nobody with palm wine will venture on the roads in Batibo to go to anywhere, not just Manfe, but anywhere to go sell palm wine. So again, that was Batibo. That was Batibo. But ladies and gentlemen, let me come to you with this broadcast proper. I will come back to the lockdown. One thing that I like you all to see. Again, you are looking at images there from Batibo. That is Batibo. That was today. That was today in Batibo. That palm wine was confiscated from those trying to defy Ghost Town, to go to Manfe to trade in palm wine, Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you to Bali, where something good is truly happening. Something good is truly happening in Bali. And I want you to take a moment, look at these images coming from Bali. Take a moment and look at these images coming from Bali. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that.
You understand it? Yes. And then General Grandpa too talks that the 3 months must pass before motor work.
Voila. As how we eat the declare the mosquito. So officially now, the bike is standard now for work.
Yeah.
So if the don't talk to 3 months will pass before motor work, then it will fine. Because
This is Bali. Today, the 14th of September. We run small, eh?
Okay.
So, na Bali this, so. Na Bali square this.
Yes.
Na Bali cancel that overside day.
Yes.
So, na back they work for Bali now.
I back the work for Bali now, so.
Today, the 14th of September.
Yes. Today the 14th of September.
So, throughout, na back they work.
Yes. Now about 2 months now.
2 months.
Yeah.
And then that band where SDO we place them on bikes and wait it don't happen.
Oh, okay. If you talk say me bike they no worker for 3 months. Then on renewable, the 3 months we still reach, they no still renew.
But the 3 months of we don't reach, wait it happen bike then start worker.
Oh.
Their decision no work.
The military them officially declared for bike men they rather them tell them say me they work.
Now the SDO says them tell me bike then work.
Now the military they talk.
Na military talk, but not the SDO talk.
Not the SDO talk. Not the SDO talk.
You know what today?
So,
the SDO shame for reverse the decision.
now they think that.
You understand me?
Now they think that.
Yes, and then General Grandpa too talks say the 3 months must pass before motor work.
Voila. As far as if they don't declare them, they must be so. So officially now bike is standard now for work.
Yeah.
So if the don't talk say 3 months your pass before work, then you are fine. Because we be the wait now says the man must stop. And when the man now
ever make any statement.
Yes, ever make no statement. Yeah. Because they don't go even driver then they go there and even driver.
Send me they go work. Driver then deny them.
Yes, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, you are looking at images of okada riders in the streets of Bali. Now, this is the town in which the colonial mayor and the DO, all the way from Mezam, they declared a ban. They passed a ban on all okada movement in the town of Bali. Now, when that ban was passed, you will all recall that Grandpa and the Buffaloes, they decreed a ban on every four-wheel vehicle that, in Bali. And what happened was nothing could move from Bamenda to Bali, from Bali to Batibo, Batibo to Bamenda, or Bali, Mamfe to Bamenda to Bali. And so finally, Okadas have gone back to the streets of Bali. And we're waiting to hear the colonial administrators in that city say, what the hell are you doing riding your Okadas here on the street? We haven't heard that yet. And I believe they will not say anything because they are feeling the pinch of the ban on the movement of vehicles in Bali. Nothing can get to Bali or Bamenda from Mamfe, from Ekok, from Mamfe or from Batibo. Nothing can get there. And nothing can lift Bamenda to any of those places because Bali has shut down any vehicle transiting through Bali to any of these destinations. Now, I am saying this so we can understand, ladies and gentlemen, these lockdowns, they work. And I really wish that many counties and local government areas will learn from the example, copy from the example of the Buffaloes in Bali. When colonial officials come up with bans, injunctions against any form of movement, the restoration fighters within that community will immediately do something that hurt the colonial authorities, as happened in Bali. We encourage the people in Bali to continue to embrace some of the decisions taken by these restoration fighters who have nothing at heart but a free and independent Southern Cameroon. So Grandpa and the Buffaloes, all of you in Bali, on behalf of the interim government of Ambazonia, I like to say thank you. Thank you for holding on to it and not giving up. Some people did not want you to continue holding on to it and resisting the colonial officials in Bali. But you held on to it. You held on to it. We thank you. I think that is what that is what resolve is all about. That is true resolve, true determination. Let's see what happens in the days ahead. And I know that they will also take the decision to now allow four-wheel vehicles to be able to move through Bali. But again, they will make that decision. Not from here at the interim government, not from the diaspora. The Buffaloes will take that decision by themselves. That is true victory that we'll see out there in Bali. And I really wish every other restoration force will begin to copy that example of Bali. Do it. Slow down every colonial administrator, as we have in Bowie, as we have in the BLM, as we have in Bali. I don't know which other place again that I think these are the three main places. We have to let the world know that we have control. We can actually take control and pass instructions in our own territory, ladies and gentlemen. We need to let the world come to this realization that Ambazonia belongs to Ambazonia. It is very, very critical. It's very, very critical. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what is happening in Bali. People can now use the okadas. People can now take okadas to any destination in Bali, and the colonial officials will not dare. The colonial officials will not dare stop them. The colonial officials will not dare stop them. Again, cars will move in the days ahead. Cars will move in the days ahead in Bali. And we look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to that. So now let me take you to something else that is also very important. So also very, very important. Before I do that, I am going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, a brief break to bring you a developing story coming from General No PT. It is just getting into the studio right now. Again, it is just getting into the studio at the moment. Please give me a minute, and I will be right back with this developing story. Coming from Ingo Ketunjia, from Field Marshal No PT. Don't touch your remote. I will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military, gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military, gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military, gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military, gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
Fellow Ambazonians, dear countrymen, despite the hike in targeted summary execution of our innocent people by Paul Biya's killer squads, I still believe we are now at the twilight of our political daybreak, emptying the combined worth and wealth of a lifetime fortune into the country of our collective dream.
A place we can surely call home.
At last, my people, the wind of total liberation is sweeping through Ambazonia, our priceless inheritance.
The land of our forebears.
A place we can surely call home.
A few years ago, a vicious dictator declared war on our sovereign nation of Ambazonia. It is a war we did not seek nor provoke, but are determined to muster every strength we can harness and continue sending the message to our enemy that we have risen to call home.
We have paid dues for everything. We pay tax for goods we buy. We pay fuel in our cars. We pay hospital bills and the dues for all other sacrifices.
I can give all I have for the one hope that I have.
Because I hate my CID. I'm a nation, proudly Amazonian. What about you?
Let's get it straight. The freedom of Ambazonia will not depend on the free will of our enemies.
Independence will be but days away if we get it right with our CID.
My dear comrades, I am appealing to every Ambazonian to register with the CID program.
We have no control over our distorted history, but with our CID, we can set the pace and determine the future of Ambazonia.
Yes, the hope for the future is in our hands. As an Ambazonian, my identity is conclusive. My right is guaranteed. My vote will always count as I pay my CID.
As an Ambazonian, I will shape the future with my CID.
With your CID of just $10 per month, the interim government is contract to fulfill all that you wish to be done.
Let us build a freedom mansion from the little block, which is our CID levy.
There will be food for everyone, hope for every child, justice for every citizen when we pay our CID levy.
Yes, the dream we can realize with my
right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put out there. Something came in and I had to take a few minutes up to get that piece of information, as you can find right there on the screen. Breaking news coming up, breaking news coming up. Now, we have just received information and footages. Maybe some of you out there have seen it already, but I don't think so. This is very fresh, just dropping in here from General No PT, an attack carried out, we understand, this evening on ground zero, precisely at Sapga. General No PT, they went after a contingent of French Cameroon army over there, ladies and gentlemen, and left with a good catch of weapons. Take a look now. See, look at your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is just coming in. This is just coming in from No PT and his team. That is an armored truck belonging to French Cameroon, La République du Cameroun, being destroyed. Now look at the catch of weapons here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the catch of weapons today by General No PT in the Ingo Ketunja. I believe again this took place precisely at Sapga. I'm going to bring somebody who will, Comrade Langmi, who will bring us the details, the story behind this. Again, this information just came into the broadcast, into the studio, and what you are looking at, those are the weapons catch by General No PT and his Marines in the Ketunjia. This happened today. This happened today, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that happened today. Now, let me get to Comrade Langmi, who has the story of this incident. Comrade Langmi, thank you for joining me, sir. This is quite exciting. We would like to know what is going on here. What happened?
Good afternoon, Secretary Chris. Good afternoon, fellow Ambazonians. Today is September 16th, 2021. The Bible says, let your faith be like a mustard seed. Fellow Ambazonians, this interim government is taking us to Boya. There's nothing less or more than that. Today, this 16th day of September 2021, Field Marshal No PT was heading to Mezam for a very, very precise mission. And they were stopped at Sapga Hill. They were disturbed at Sapga Hill. Like I've said before, the capability, our equipment, the manpower, the Ambazonian Restoration Force has at this moment, I want to assure everyone that no force on earth can stop us on our way to go to anywhere. We were heading to Mezam for a particular mission, and these criminals at Sapga Hill tried to shoot at the forces, and the retaliation was very massive and very spontaneous. 2 ammo cars have been destroyed, a lot of equipment confiscated. Our forces are doing great, no casualties on our side as of now. The situation is very fluid. I'm not going to go into details of that, but you can see from the videos and the audios that is coming out, La République du Cameroun is bleeding, and they will continue to bleed in the days, weeks, and months ahead. We have asked their forces to lay down their arms and surrender, and that is the only thing they will do to survive, because our manpower, our equipment, our technology, our intelligence is getting stronger and stronger by the day, Secretary.
Now, I see some really bad images here that I cannot afford to have them on the screen here. I see quite a number of casualties. It appears what I'm seeing here, I am seeing I am seeing something like more than 10 casualties.
We cannot ascertain the number of casualties now on the side of La République du Cameroun, but I want to assure you that checkpoint has been neutralized. Everyone there has been reported dead. The mission in Bamenda continues. We are telling the people of Bamenda to be very, very cautious of what is going to happen in the days ahead, in the hours ahead. But I cannot ascertain the number of casualties right now on the south, La Republic of Cameroon.
Right. Again, I'm talking based on what I see on the screen here. I also see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, more than I can't see to the end of the video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm seeing here, you cannot see there. But these weapons, I think there are more than probably at least 15 of them. I've just tried to count them, and they're probably in not less than 15. Now, when did this happen? You said today, but precisely what time, sir?
About a few hours ago.
Just a few hours ago.
The manhunt is still on. Some of them escaped into the nearby bushes, and there's a massive manhunt right now. That's why I can't go into details, and we can't ascertain the numbers of the fallen enemies. But the number you are seeing on your screen is just maybe a fraction of what is happening in the bushes. We know some of them, they were heading to Ngokutunja for a mission, as we learned. Yesterday, the senior divisional officer, the fake senior divisional officer, organized a meeting, and he wanted more security for the teachers. This is a situation. Yesterday, we reported that more than 15 teachers were arrested by the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. After serious questioning, we saw that they were on gunpoint for them to attend that meeting. They were asked at gunpoint to attend that meeting in Ngokutunja, and they paid their fine. We released them. They were released yesterday. However, the senior divisional officer continued with his assimilation policy of bringing in more terrorists into Ngokutunja. We have warned him not to do so, and today he has seen for himself. The neighboring Republic of Cameroon have seen for themselves. Dictator has seen for himself that we are up to the task.
Now, this is what we are watching here is incredible. It's just incredible. Now, you said there were many trucks. We see one there. How many French Cameroon? Do we have an idea how many French Cameroon forces were there?
Like I said, we are not. I cannot ascertain the number of French Cameroon forces that were there at that checkpoint, but we know there were many of them, and all of them have been deleted. Some of them are running away. I am sending out this ultimatum right now. They should lay down their arms and surrender, or else they will be crushed in the hours ahead.
Now, am I correct to say this was in Sapga? I don't know Sapga that well. I don't see the here. But was this in Sapga actually?
You are correct.
Okay. Now, our guys all returned safe?
Like I said, I'm not going to go into details. Part of the contingent are still there trying to hunt some of those criminals. They will definitely be leaving in a few minutes from now. Some of them are already heading to Mezam, or heading to the next target, because, like I said, many targets were in line. Today, unfortunately, these criminals stopped our forces on the way, and that is the result. But tonight, we will make sure we accomplish our mission that was meant for today.
That is incredible. This is incredible, and we hope that French Cameroon learn a lesson. They learn a lesson from what they see, and we hope that they drop their arms. They drop their arms and walk away from Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, this army you see in the screen, these are not French Cameroon professional army. These are Ambazonia restoration fighters. They are doing the job of a trained army in the superfluous way, ladies and gentlemen. And we really want to believe that French Cameroon soldiers are watching this. This is happening all over Ambazonia. This is happening all over Ambazonia. French Cameroon, you cannot win this war. You cannot win this war. It can only get better. It can only get better for Ambazonia. Let me go ahead. If there is any other thing else that you would like the public to know, please go ahead and give us.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. French Cameroon soldiers have already been defeated, and we are asking the rest of them to lay down their arms and surrender as soon as now, because in the days and weeks ahead, the situation is not going to be business as usual. We are equally encouraging our population to respect the lockdown. We thank you for what you have done for the past few days, yesterday and today. And hopefully next week the lockdown will be more effective as ever. We know that the Republic of Cameroon terrorists were organizing all this meeting. We're trying to disturb our mission because they want to carry fake videos to UN General Assembly that will hold here in New York.
Well, you know what? This is what we are showing here right now is what New York will see. What we are showing here right now is what New York will see. Those gathering, those meeting at the United Nations, this is what they will see. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, go on, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Secretary Chris. We hope the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs will send these images to whoever that they want to send to all the diplomats, to Mr. Guterres, to see for himself what Ambazonia are up to. They must accept the truth, or we will force them to swallow the truth. Ambazonia must be free. People of Ambazonia support the revolution. There is no two way around it. Our independence must come, and it must come with an immediate effect. God bless you all. Stay tuned. The situation is very fluid. Pay your job. Pray for Field Marshal No Pity. Pray for all the Field Marshal. Pray for all the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, and let your faith be like a mustard seed that will never die, but will grow to forever. Thank you so much. Sorry for the background noise. I'm at work, but hopefully the message has been delivered. Thank you, Secretary Grace.
All right, thank you. Like me, thank you, sir. God bless. And ladies and gentlemen, again, this is what came in a few minutes ago, all the way from Sapga. Sapga is in Ngo Ketunjia. If you leave Bamenda, pass through Bambui, pass through Bambili, pass through Babanki. I don't know whether it's small or big Babanki, but I know you pass through Babanki, and then you get to Sapga. This is where this is happening. This happened literally hours ago. Thank God for the social media. And we are able to get this right away here at ABC. This is the work of General No PT. I mean FM No PT. FM No PT and the Ngo Ketunjia Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't have gotten a better message at this time of the lockdown of Ambazonia. This again is the kind of message we want the people meeting at the United Nations to hear. The Republic has failed. We have failed. We have stopped them from carrying their cacophony of a message to the United Nations to tell them ground zero, Ambazonia, Cameroon is at peace. No, Cameroon is not at peace, and neither Ambazonia at peace. If Ambazonia will not be at peace, your damn country, La Republique du Cameroon, can never know peace. And again, I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, to every La Republique fighter, out there in Ambazonia, please, this war will not work to your favor. This war will never, ever work to your favor. Look at the catch. From a single stop, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that other Ambazonia restoration forces are seeing this. I hope they are seeing this. This is a catch this evening, just this evening, again, in Ngo Ketunjia, ladies and gentlemen, and the number of corpses They are many. I'm hiding them from you because the images look bad. They look bad. They look bad. I can't show you the images, ladies and gentlemen. I just can't take you to the images because, again, they look really, really bad. Not something that children should be sitting at home and watching on television. So I won't show you those images. But, again, this is what the public wants. This is what the public wants. This is what they've been looking for. And I hope that they are watching. I hope that they are watching. Every restoration camp, Ambazonia restoration camp in every LGA, every local government, this is what you should be doing out there. This is what you should be doing out there. These soldiers are not trained soldiers. They are boys who love their country and want the actualization of their independence. Every LGA, every county, we want to see this. The moment has come for you guys to stop going to ground one to buy arms. This is what you need to do. All of you need to do. Stop them. Take the arms. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I was in Somaliland. I was in Somaliland a few months ago. And I was told this is exactly what they did in Somaliland. They did not buy arms, ladies and gentlemen. Somalilanders, they never bought arms. They took the arms. They got the Somali army. They took the arms from them. They confiscated the arms from them. And they used the arms to beat Somalia. And today, Somaliland is an independent nation without spending a dime for weapons. This is what we're talking about. This is what we need to see in every county. This has to be duplicated in every county and every local government in Ambazonia. You can do it. Those of you watching from other counties and LGAs, you can do exactly this. You can do exactly this. And again, on behalf of the interim government, General No PT and all your boys, we thank you for your courage. We thank you for your courage. We thank you for being an example to other fighters. May God continue to protect you and deliver you from any snare, every snare of the French Cameroon army. All right. Ambazonia, we are making progress. What you find on your screen is the reason for which you must draft. Again, the reason for which you must draft. We have 4 counties left. Momo is left. Boyo is still there. Meme is still to draft. And Fako is still to draft. This is the reason why we have to draft. When you look at images like this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me take you to another subject here. Let me take you to another subject here, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you I take you to the subject of these boys in the Boya. The subject of the boys in Boya. Now the boys are the ones you find on your screen. Those are the boys on your screen. Now these are Ambazonians. These are Ambazonians. You see their names. From the right, from the left to the right, you have Waimeli Gidas. Then you have Reinhalidi Munkefo. Then Elangwe Kevin. Then Conte Patrick. Conte Patrick. These are the gentlemen that French Cameroon last week sentenced to death by a firing squad. Again, these are the guys French Cameroon last week sentenced to death by firing squad, ladies and gentlemen. The first guy on your left, Gidas on your left, we learned that Gidas was arrested before the Kumba incident took place. I hope you hear me. That young man had actually been arrested ever before the Kuba school incident took place. But they met him, what do they call it? they convicted him for being responsible for the Kumba massacre, whereas he was already arrested. The other guy, Munkefo, they say, is a boy of about 20 years, and he is a bike rider. That is the second from the left. The second from the left. He was a bike rider, and you can see from his face, he's a young guy, 20 years old, and they say he was a bike rider. He was just arrested in Fiango Market. He was arrested. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen. He was arrested in Fiango Market by Nambere and 2 soldiers in Mufti. He was arrested. Munkefo was arrested in Fiango Market by Nambere and 2 other French Cameroon soldiers in Mufti. Then you have also Patrick, who is wearing the t-shirt with Givenchy. He said Patrick is a taxi driver who came from Douala and was picked up at his junction. There is a guy who had just returned from Douala to return to Douala. He was coming from Douala to pick up his belongings to go back to Douala, and he was picked up at his own junction. Now we are told that Kevin was returning from his carpenter's shop and was arrested at his own junction. He was returning from his carpenter's shop and was arrested by French Cameroon soldiers. Ladies and gentlemen, this information we are giving you now is first-hand information. First-hand information. We are able to have communication with these guys, and we are getting this information directly from the source. That is what happened. But French Cameroon has sentenced them to death. By firing squad. Now this is what is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Last week you listened to me. We are banning every courthouse, not just in Fako, not just in Boyao Fako, but in all of Ambazonia. We are banning, and if you are a lawyer, please stay away from the court. If you are a court clerk, a magistrate, procureur general, or to call it procureur du gouvernement, or what, I don't know that French, ladies and gentlemen, procureur du gouvernement or something like that. Please stay away from Ambazonian courts. They will be shut down indefinitely until we reverse this decision. Every courtroom in Ambazonia will be shut down. This conflict, this war began over the legal system, the injustices of the legal system in Ambazonia inflicted by La République du Cameroon. We cannot be in the Anglo-Saxon heritage, and we are practicing civil law, French law in our territory. Can you imagine that all the judges that sentenced these 4 guys to death by firing squad, they are all Francophones, French Cameroon citizens. I mean foreigners, ladies and gentlemen, in our territory. I have said it here, and I will repeat it. Whether you kill them or not, no court will be open in Ambazonia. You can go out the next day and open them, but I can assure you, you open it for 10 days, one day will be for Ambazonia. I can assure you that. You go to court and you think nothing is happening, nothing will happen. I can assure you, as they say in the proverb, 99 days for the thief and 1 day for the owner. That is what is going to happen to every court and every human being who violate this instruction and set foot at any court in Ambazonia. The Ambazonian Restoration Forces, listen to me carefully. Ambazonia Restoration Forces, listen to me carefully. Every courtroom in Ambazonia must be brought down. Every courtroom, and you can say that I said it. Yes, you can say I said it. They have invaded our private lives. They have invaded our institutions and destroyed all of them. They will not use those same institutions to lord over us and to decree firing squads over our people in our own territory. If we let that happen, that means we do not have control over the land. If we allow them sentence our people and shoot them and kill them by firing squad, that would mean we do not have control over the territory. We must go after every institution of French Cameroon called court, all the so-called colonial divisional officers and their mayors, everybody elected, chosen, handpicked from Yaoundé and sent to Ambazonia. Go after them. Go after them and make sure we are free, and free indeed. This is what this war is about. It is war, ladies and gentlemen. It is not negotiation. It is not dialogue. It is not. It is war, and you confront war. You face war with war. You go after everything that your enemy owns. And the courts and their colonial officials, they are our targets, and we must bring them down. And I mean it. We must bring them down. I hear some people saying, oh, you cannot be saying that. You will go through ICC. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if we are fighting, let us fight and stop being afraid of what the ICC says or what some international power says. Let us fight. If we die, we'll die. If we leave, we'll leave. All right, I hope we get that. Now, let me get to this lockdown thing, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I want to thank all of you on Ground Zero for standing up all the cities, all the towns that are not ghost town, lockdown, shut down for the past 2 days, referring to yesterday and today. Thank you so very much. We still have issues, ladies and gentlemen, in Victoria. We still have issues in Victoria. Now, what you are looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, that is Victoria. And that was Victoria, I think that was yesterday. Victoria yesterday. Apparently, nothing seems to be happening in Victoria. Nothing seems to be happening in Victoria. Now, let me pass a message from this interim government to the people of Victoria. We know that I have read some stories that say 70% of the population of Victoria are Francophones. It doesn't matter. We don't care who you are in Victoria. If you live in our territory, if you live in Ambazonia, you must observe the Ambazonian laws, rules, and regulations, and these shutdowns and lockdowns are not excluded. Victoria must obey lockdown. You want to be forced to obey, to respect lockdown? I can assure you that you will be forced to. You will be forced to, if that is what you want. If that is what you want, to be able to respect lockdown in Victoria. In Victoria, that will have to happen. All of Ambazonia cannot be shut down. And Victoria, as you find it here on your screen, is just doing business as usual. Business as usual. Boya is another place where we have learned lockdown is only happening there timidly. Why Mutengene, Tiko, Munya, Kumba, Muyuka, Ekona, they are all observing ghost town. I'm talking about the neighborhood of Victoria and Boya. They are all observing ghost town, lockdown, but Victoria is not. And in Kambe and Fundong, they are not. There are two other cases. There are two other cases not observing this lockdown. In fact, we understand schools are going on and everything is just number. I saw some photographs coming from, I think it was in Kambe. The market square, it was packed and business was just on as usual. Listen, if you live in Kambe, you live in the Fundong, you live in Victoria, you live in Boya, I can assure you, Ambazonia will not be safe without you, with you left out. Ambazonia will not be free with you left out. ghost towns will be observed. Lockdown will be observed in these cities. And I am appealing to all Ambazonia restoration forces, all Ambazonia restoration forces in the neighborhood of Victoria, in Boya, in Nkambe, in Fundong. You are not doing enough. You are not doing enough. Please do your job. Spare no business that is open on a lockdown day in any of these towns and cities. It is your duty to take them down. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. But I'd really like to thank places like, where is that? Indu did a great job. I saw images from Indu. I think I have some of them here. Let me see. I saw images coming from Indu. I saw images from Batibo. This was Batibo this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that guy pouring palm wine on the highway. I understand that this was coming from some palm wine tappers who were or sellers driving to Mamfe trying to sell palm wine, and the restoration forces picked them up, and you can see what happened there next. That is it on the screen there. This is K-Town. K-Town, ladies and gentlemen, made us really, really proud. Really proud yesterday. We want to thank everybody in K-Town. We want to thank everybody in K-Town for the marvelous job that you did out there. This is again Victoria. This is again in Victoria. We hope that the people in Victoria, they're hearing us. This lockdown must be obeyed and fully observed in Victoria. I believe this is Bamenda. I believe this is Bamenda. Some people say this is Kumba. I doubt, because I'm looking at that some of those buildings there. I don't think this is Kumba. It looks like Bamenda, but whatever the case, I understand it was grounded. And you are looking at Kumbo, Bui County. It was completely shut down. Bui was completely shut down, as you can see there, ladies and gentlemen. Empty streets, empty buildings in the Bui. Yes, today. It was a great occasion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Bishop John Egiawan, who is one of the chiefs for intelligence here at the interim government. He is joining me from his little abode somewhere. I won't disclose it before somebody go after him. So, Bishop John, you have seen, I guess, I hope you saw what just took place out there in the Sapga. Did you see that, sir? Bishop John, I'm sorry, you are muted from here. Let me get you turned on. All right, go on, please. I can hear you. Go on.
Thank you, Secretary Chris, and greetings to the fellow viewers and to the Ambazonian people, and special greetings to the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. And I want to give a special salute to FM No PT and the Marine Force of the Gongo-Kitunja ARF for a wonderful job that they have done and they are doing. This is really outstanding. La Republique says they are in control of Ambazonia, and certain elements, they are paid agents and enablers say they are in control of Ambazonia. Let the world see who controls Ambazonia. The Ambazonian people control Ambazonia. It is not enablers, it is not La Republique du Cameroon, it is not some paid agents who are controlling Ambazonia. The people of Ambazonia control them. They decide what to do, when to do, and they listen to the people's interim government. Thank you, Secretary Chris.
Thank you, sir. Let's go back to what No PT is doing out there in Ketunjia. Have you been able to speak with him? I know this is a short notice, but have you been able to contact him?
No, I've not. But I'm sure Comrade Langmi is in direct contact with General PT at this time. So, but I've not been, yeah.
All right. What message, Bishop John, should they send to, first of all, La République du Cameroon and their fighters, actually?
Secretary Chris, I have a special message for La République du Cameroon terrorist soldiers. The message I have for them is this: America was not able to fight the indigenous people of Afghanistan. America was not able to fight the indigenous people of Vietnam. America has not been able to fight anyone, anywhere in the world when they go to their land. It is impossible. La République will not come to Ambazonia and destroy us or and defeat us. It will not happen. And our capabilities as the Ambazonia Restoration Forces has been increasing dramatically. We are increasing our technology, we are increasing our training, we are increasing our acquisition, we are having high cost damages. So we are matching La République. La République, I'm telling you, you are fighting with the people that you can, because you cannot crush our will to win this war. Our will to get to Boya cannot be defeated. That's why you cannot defeat us. And we are not afraid of whatever it will take for us to get to Boya. And so I am telling the La République soldier, you are fighting a loose battle. Please drop your weapon and run away for the sake of your wife, for the sake of your family, for the sake of your relatives. You should drop your weapon and run away. If you see an Ambazonia Restoration Force, drop your weapon, raise your hands in surrender, and they will not do any harm to you, and they will the way to escape. That is the message I'm giving La République soldiers. Now, to the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, I want to let the Ambazonia Restoration Forces know that they have to be disciplined. They have to be disciplined and focus on their mission. We have our ground that we follow. These ground rules have been vetted and they are in sync with the international community, or war laws or anything of that nature. And so if they abide by these ground rules, they are making themselves professional. You can see that over time, Secretary Chris, our soldiers have been they have been improving. They have been improving in every aspect. It's just because of what is going on. So I want to tell them that they should not join the few minorities who want to make themselves warlord, who are listening to people who have no idea about war, who have no idea about life, people who don't care about life. They should not listen to losers. They should not listen to enablers. Any successful military must be subject to their chain of command. Every successful soldier must be a soldier who is disciplined and who is obedient and who knows how to execute orders. If you are a soldier because you are carrying a weapon and then you think that you can nag your chest, I am in charge. Who are those? Who is that? Who is that president? Who are these people in diaspora? You are only making a fool of yourself. It shows how ignorant you are, because soldiers are the most respected society in the world. Why? Because they are so disciplined, because they are focused, they are respectful of their civilian authority. Everywhere I go, I'm very proud to be a soldier. I have seen it, I have tested it, and I mean, there's no other joy, no greater joy than being a soldier and serving your people. Our soldiers are heroes. Do not fight for themselves, but heroes are freedom fighters. They fight for a greater cause and they fight for their people. That's what Ambazonia Restoration Force stand for. They are fighting for their people. They are fighting for the liberation of the land. Some of them will not see. Some of us will not even see this. We will not enjoy this. But they are fighting for the future.
Yes, thank you, Bishop John. I think you are frozen there. I hope that you are reconnected there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that the Ambazonia Restoration Forces out there are getting this message. We will not encourage warlords. If you are out there and you are carrying a gun and you are not submitting to the chain of command, you are a warlord. If you are out there and the interim government holds a meeting, takes a decision for lockdown to be enforced by every fighter on ground zero, and you go and hold your own separate meeting before coming out to endorse the decision of this interim government, you are a warlord. If you are out there and other fighters, the no PTs and the rest are out there enforcing lockdown, and you are out there raising your voice, threatening drivers to get on the street and drive, you are a warlord. You are a warlord. Bishop John, I think you are reconnected.
Yeah, my internet was, yeah.
Yes, go
my
on.
internet got disconnected because I got a call coming in. Yes, Secretary Chris, what I was trying to say, I was giving a message to the ambassador.
But talking about Warlord Bishop John, just add this to your response there. I got a message from you a few minutes ago, about an hour ago or so, and I just read it here about this guy in is it a corner of Ako anyway, Shagat, threatening drivers not to obey lockdown. I guess this is what you are calling warlordism. When somebody on his own discretion choose not to enforce the decision taken by not just the interim government, not just cabinet, not just the military council, I mean a decision taken in concert with other fighters on the ground. Tell us what is going on, sir.
Yes, we got multiple messages from Ekuna that Shaggy was going around and calling drivers and asking them to drive to work on a lockdown day that was today, and telling them that anybody who does not work, they are going to get, he's going to discipline with them. He's going to discipline them. He's going to deal with them. You know, these are people who, first of all, come out to criticize the other ARF and tie Gabonese off and make Gabonese to out there under threat. And these are the people now, they see that the Ambazonian people have made their decision. The Ambazonian people have chosen who speaks for them. The Ambazonian people are in line with their interim government, and they see that they are losing now. They are using their weapons now to threaten drivers who are standing with their own will. They are going against the will of the people to stand with the interim government and to stand with the rest of the ARF, threatening these people that if they do not go out to violate the lockdown, they are going to be dealt with. That's warlordism. That's warlordism. These people are, instead of using the power, the privilege they have to carry weapons, to defend the people, to fight the enemy, they are using it against the Ambazonian people. Just because they have chosen to stand with the minority, they are listening to the voice of the minority, and they are doing these things. This is a very, very serious crime. This is a treasonous crime. I don't know how somebody who will say they are part of the interim government will express such a double standard. To me, I don't consider this particular ARF. They have been consistent for the past 2 years, Chris. Anybody who says that they are otherwise does not really know about the details of these people. They have been consistent in always rubbishing the orders and things that we do. They all want to be contrary. This is not good. And I hope that the people of Amazonia are paying attention to this.
Well, I think you are, of course, correct. We have talked about this in the different occasions, different forums. I mean, fora. If somebody just doesn't see it, then they are living in denial. I was quite upset that Gabonese was picked up and at a gunpoint he was made to counter the announcement for lockdown that he had made the day before. He had a gun on his head and was asked to reverse the message, and many of you out there probably got Gabonese's message canceling the lockdown. He was at gunpoint, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, from those who want us to believe they are in this with us. Bishop John, I hope Gabonese is safe right now.
Yes, Secretary Chris, Gabonese is safe, but Gabonese is not is still there. But he's safe. But a stern warning is being given to these individuals that should anything happen to Gabonese, they will not go free. And I know that this is the call even from the Ambazonia Self-Defense Council chairman, that they will not stand for anyone who points finger on another ARF. You know, so these people, if should anything happen to Gabonese, should anything happens to Gabonese or his family or any one of his family, then these people, they will eat their own action. They will taste the pain of their own action. I know that action has been decided, and I know that people have paid attention to this, and decisions have been made to see how these people, if they will repent, if they will change from their ways and join the way of victory, or they will continue to be to maintain this type of attitude. Then they don't have a long way to go. I'm telling you, Secretary Chris, because enough is definitely enough. That, as Comrade Langme said, business is not as usual. Sometimes we have pampered these people. I tell people that, look, if somebody is carrying arm, you think that you are going to help that person, you are not helping that person. I have been in the military. From the day I joined the military, all I learned was order. The military doesn't joke with you. If you mess up, you mess up, and they tell you mess up, and they discipline you. If they want to kick you out of the military, they'll kick you out of the military. They want to lock you up in jail, they lock you up in jail. They want to demote you and take your money, they demote you and take your money. They want to give you discipline, they will give you Article 15, as we call it in the United States Army, and they put you on hard level, and you will serve it. You have no choice. From the day you raise your hand and take the oath that you want to be a volunteer in the United States Army, that's what they do to you. Soldiers who use arms to terrorize people and intimidate people, and they say, who is diaspora? Who is the president? The president now we will be in charge for ground 1 year. If the diaspora remove their hands from these people on ground zero, do you think they can survive? Let me tell you, everybody, ARF, do not be deceived. Do not be deceived by people who come and bring some kind of language and you take it and you begin to run with it without you even thinking. Diaspora has a very significant role to play in this our independent quest. So don't listen to all those losers, enablers. Those are CPDM agents who are coming and bringing you this type of nonsense. Let me tell you, we have our president, and our president is the diaspora, and our president is the commander-in-chief of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, and the president, what he says is what we have to obey. That's what soldiers do. That's what soldiers do. We don't go against the orders of the chain of command. So that's what it is. Anybody who say anything other than that is going against the rule and doesn't have the blessing. They doesn't have the blessing of the nation upon him or her.
Talking about that, Bishop John, let me say something, because I have heard some narrative out there that, you know, Ground Zero, go ahead and do your thing. The diaspora is just too, they are just deceiving you, and they are too divided and blah, blah, blah. You know, they're trying to make the Ground Zero to believe they can do it without the diaspora. Is that possible? Is that even possible?
Very, very impossible, Secretary Chris. I want to tell you that this is very impossible. If you look at all the wars that have been fought everywhere, the wars for independence, people had similar wars, like in Eritrea. You know that in Eritrea, they had to task those in the diaspora 5% of their income. It's not like us, we tell people to come and pay CID for $10. Eritrean, they tax you 5% of your income, and you must pay it. And until this day, Eritreans are still paying. Those who did not pay them, when they go to Eritrea, they will hold them to pay. You go to everywhere, Secretary Chris, they had to depend on the diaspora for leadership. They had to depend on the diaspora for the resources. So that thing that you are seeing like this, CPDM has spent money and paid a lot of people. And when they go to some of these ARF, they bring this rhetoric. Let me tell you, most of the ARF who buy such things are people who are not first standing on their feet. They are people who want to be rebellious. There are people who are doing their own. Them are those type of soldiers who are taking money from rich Bamileke people and allowing them to be doing their business. business and breaking the law. They are harassing cocoa farmers and taking their money. These are people who don't want to be under the law. They are the one listening to this. But if you see a good ARF, they do not support such things, and they cannot even buy such narrative. They cannot even buy it. I want to tell you, Secretary, please do your research, examine it very well, and you will see that soldiers who fall for such things are people who are already compromised, even in their mind. Their mind is screwed up. You know, there are people who are prone to crimes. They are the ones who support such narrative. But it's impossible that Ground Zero can survive without the diaspora. It's a big fat lie.
You know, it is not. It is not possible. That is not possible. The reason being that Ground Zero, they should be aware. They should understand that most of the diaspora wouldn't even mind coming back to live in that country, because most of the diaspora, they've gained citizenship abroad. If they lose the war, they can easily get back to their families and maybe get their families to rejoin them where they are, whether in Europe or in the USA. But Ground Zero will go through the pain. And so I really don't think anybody, except maybe a very few greedy people, think that this war is about them going back to Ground Zero to maybe get some positions, maybe do business or something like that. But I think that everybody in the diaspora just want to see a better country, a better people, a country with a future. And we are putting our hands together with Ground Zero to see this happen. Shouldn't this be the case?
Secretary Chris, one of the things that I've come to see is that many people do not think of posterity. They only think of themselves. And this is what is destroying some of us. Because you think of yourself, you think about your comfort, but you don't think about the future of your children. You don't think about the future of your children's children. Secretary Chris, some of us are enjoying America today because some people fought. Some people paid the sacrifice. They fought for their country to be independent from France. And that's what we are enjoying today. But when you see people who are staying in Boya, they tell you, oh, we are suffering. A lockdown for this, we are suffering. Which kind of suffering? Which type of hypocrisy is this, Secretary Chris? Which kind of suffering? So you cannot sacrifice 2 weeks to stay in your home so that you can have a better nation, or you can make a case for your country, for your quest for independence, and you want to continue to remain a slave because you want to eat bread, because you want to go to work and make the few money when they are not even first paying you enough money as a civil servant. You are not first making money, and you don't want to fight for a better future for your children, for your unborn children. You don't want to fight. So this, I don't understand, Secretary. All I can just say is the enabler is working, La Republique is working. He has really bribed some certain people and help. They are the one pushing this narrative in the community. But a sound mind, an Ambazonia who is a sound mind, Ambazonia cannot buy such things.
Bishop John, now this confusion that came with the announcement of lockdown by the interim government did not just come from some of these Turks on Ground Zero, but it came from some quarters that I guess many Ambazonians are beginning to question. Where do they actually belong? Where does Yerima belong? Where does Milton Taka belong? Where does Ayaba, where do they belong? I'd like you to take a pause and listen to this message just briefly from Milton Taka.
Revolutionary greetings, all 8 million Ambazonians on Ground Zero, Ground One, and in the diaspora. Revolutionary greetings, our very dear restoration forces and fighters, the finest of all during all liberation struggles. I come to address you because of the currently announced national lockdown that has raised a lot of controversy amongst people.
I come to address you on the wake of this current. He chooses his words very carefully, and he has a flyer hanging by him saying, "No lockdown." Say, no lockdown. Bishop John Yerima came out also with a fictitious statement bearing the letterhead of the interim government. I call it a forgery. A forgery. And he's supposed to be Sisiko's vice president, I guess, but he came out with that forged letterhead of the interim government declaring there is no lockdown. Ayaba, who is out there supporting, promoting lockdown in Biafra land all the way in Nigeria, came out and said, we don't need lockdown in Ambazonia. What a hypocrite, or what hypocrites are these people? Wait, I just hope that Ground Zero is seeing where these guys stand. Bishop John, I'll let you comment before I get back to that.
Okay, Senator Chris. The Ambazonian people know who their government is. They know who their restoration forces are. Okay, Jakan came up and said there should not be no lockdown. Did he succeed? Did the Ambazonian people listen to him? Yerema came and said there should not be any lockdown. Did anybody listen to him? Do they know him? Ayabacho came and said there should not be any lockdown. Did anybody listen to him? See, it is just a deception. People, these are people who have been compromised. These are all enablers of La Republic. They are speaking the same language with La Republic du Cameroon. These are not people who are fighting for the interests of Ambazonia. And so I'm very sorry for people who still continue to give their money to these people. All they run is propaganda. They feed on the victory of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. They do all kind of gymnastics. Right now, what they are doing is carrying their few soldiers, go to one place, they say they are in this local government, and they make a movie. Then they go to another place, they make a movie, and then they'll release it on the 1st of October and say that, look, ADF is everywhere. Intelligence, we just these people are trying to present themselves for being something where they are not. I cannot hear you, Secretary Chris. I cannot hear you.
Oh, talking about ADF movie, I got a phone call this morning. In fact, I got to put that guy on the phone. He was reporting to me what is going on in Upper Bayang, where the ADF, he said about 20 of them have taken up residence around that vicinity. They have threatened every villager and arrested them. They're supposed to have a rally today in that Upper Bayang community. So the idea is to gather all these villagers, do a march past on October 1st. They put it out there and says, look at how many people, the villages from this, from that the ADF is commanding, whereas they literally went out, forced those people at gunpoint and brought them there. In fact, go ahead and respond, and I put this guy on the phone.
Yes, Secretary Chris, that's what we know, and we want the ambassador to know. You know, this is what La Republic takes those messages, and La Republic runs with it and present this to the international diseases. There's division, and people have the deception that there is division in Ambazonia. No, you have a few individuals who want to do their own thing, who want to make their money, who want to make their name, and they want to screw La Republic and eat La Republic money, and they are working in unison, they are working in agreement with La Republic to spoil our independence quest. And I think that Ambazonians are intelligent enough to know who is who. Those who have decided to stay with the ADF, they know what they are benefiting from that, but they will pay one day. So please, don't be deceived. All these people calling that there should not be any lockdown, we already know who they are. And we cannot be fooled. We should stop pretending or thinking that these people will change. Like some of these these fighters who have consistently done the same thing over and over, we think that they are going to change. No, there's no change that is going to come from them. You know, we just them the way we treat soldiers. And I'm telling civilians, I'm telling our Ambazonian administrators, look, the way military function is completely different from the way your politics function. Please, leave the military to be run by the military people and the military branch. Stop them and telling the military are interfering with military. You see all these division government, people are trying to scatter ARF, this and that with their stupid politics. Leave the ARFs for the ARF. Let them be under their chain of command and function, and so that they don't have any interference, and give them what they want. Don't withhold some money or some resources from the ARF because you want to impose your political agenda. You know, no. That's why I really like what the president has done and the Restoration Council for passing that defense bill that they passed, which is really coming to help to separate the military from civilian influence, so that the military can be run by the military core, you know, so that the military can be run by the military, so that our ARF will not be intermingled or will not be caught in the web with all this politics that is going around. Secretary Chris?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, I can't get this guy to tell us what is going on in the Upper Banyang. But Bishop John, besides these Yerema, Ayaba, Milton, Takas, and the rest of Ambazonia, we also have a situation that is cropping up where Victoria, Boya, Mamfe, Nkambe, Fundong, and others are basically not respecting, observing this shutdown. What is going on there, and what are you guys in the defense doing to make sure that they are? Yeah, go on.
Secretary Chris, as I told you, people sometime I said, silence is not inaction. The way to fight the war in an urban area is completely different from the way you fight the war in a rural area. We are mostly fighting a guerrilla war at this point. That is the strength. That's our capacity. That's the level of which we can be strong at this point. But we have been building our capacity for an urban warfare. And those people in Victoria and Boya who think that war will not come and reach them, they will be surprised. There will be an element. And right now, Secretary Chris, we have established a database. We want any Ambazonian to safely report people who are violating lockdowns. We are going to get pictures, get house address and everything, and some of our special agents will be carrying out operation to discipline these people. Now let me tell you, if you want to report, you see anything you want to report, just go to report crime at amba.org. I wish somebody can post that on the screen, Secretary Chris, or you can report on WhatsApp at +1 469 407 8700. You can report any crime or anybody who is violating the lockdown. I am telling you, Victoria will not be free, Fondon will not be free, Cambe will not be free, Boya will not be free. I am telling you, we have a list of individuals we know who have been violating the laws, and they are hiding in these places because they have heavy presence of La Republic agents. But we are building our capacity for warfare, and we are building our long-range capacity, our capacity to take out targets from a long distance. We have been building on that capacity, Secretary Chris. It's going to come as an element of surprise, and these enablers, they will just wake up one night, and they will in fact, they will not wake up. So that's what is going to happen in. That's what is going to happen in Boya. That's what is going to happen in Cambe, and that's what is going to happen in Fondon, because we are building our capacity. So, Secretary Chris, we are going to take the war to them. The Defense Department is not resting, but we are constantly be working and constantly be doing our technology, doing our acquisition and whatever. There's a time for everything. But Boya, we are taking note of the people. Right now, we want to concentrate to get a very good database of repeat criminals and people who have been violating our laws in these towns. We are those repeat criminals. We are taking good record of them. When we tell them to sit home, they don't want to sit home. We are taking note of them.
All right, Bishop John, thank you for that. It is very important that we re-emphasize the lockdown schedule here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, lockdown schedule remains unchanged. Tomorrow being Friday, people are free to move about within the towns or the cities to do business and to do shopping. Now, vehicles are not allowed, private vehicles are not allowed to circulate, and intercity movement by vehicles isn't allowed. Also, you are allowed to go out to the town, your own immediate city, do whatever you want to do for as long as you are not going out with your own car, private car. You can use taxis. Taxis are allowed to move. Okadas are allowed to move. Somebody asked me the other day and said, "How about Clandos?" And I said, if your Clando doesn't have a taxi color, keep it home. That is as simple as that. Your taxi doesn't have, your Clando doesn't have a taxi color, keep it home. So, movement will be open tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, our regular ghost towns. Tuesday, shutdown or lockdown continues again to Thursday. And then Friday, you can go out, restock your homes, and Saturday, Sunday, then Monday, we pick it up again. Nothing has changed, and should you get any other message other than this from any other person other than this interim government, know that it is false. It is false. It is the work of enablers and the black legs out there. The good thing is that they are really failing, and I hope they know it, and I really hope they know it. I just don't understand how somebody who calls himself an Ambazonian leader supports lockdown of Biafra land but doesn't support lockdown in Ambazonia against La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are witnessing this. All right. Bishop John, if you have more emphasis on this, go on, and after that, I will open the phone lines.
Yes.
I'd like to hear from Ground Zero, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris, I want to emphasize that this weekend, which is starting tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only taxis and okada can move. Now, you just said if you have a yellow color taxis, Ambazonia know what a taxi is and what a private car is. Color. We are talking about taxi that we know that they are taxis. So don't go and paint your car yellow and begin to use it to do your own thing. If you are caught by the ARF, you will be penalized. Now, the second weekend, that is the first and the second, Secretary Chris, no taxi will move. Only okadas will move. That's just one thing you left. I want to emphasize that. That is the second weekend, that's the 1st and the 2nd of October. Only okada will be allowed to move, circulate within the city. No taxi will move on that day. And of course, ambulances for medical emergency are allowed to move all through the lockdown. That's the only exception. No other humanitarian vehicles, no other movement, no other car, military or whatsoever. So only ambulance is the only exception that can move throughout the lockdown. Thank you.
Correct. Thank you, Bishop John. We will open the phone lines. We'd love to hear from Ground Zero. Please, before you call, make sure that the volume of your set, is turned down. Turn down the volume of your set. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the phone number right there on the screen. You call that number through WhatsApp and make your contribution. We'd really love to hear what is happening in Ground Zero. So let's hear from you and why they do that. Bishop John, let me get back to you. Is something being done to restore shutdown or lockdown in Victoria? Hello, Bishop John, can you hear me? Okay, it appears Bishop John cannot hear me. Let me get to the first caller here.
Yes, Secretary, sorry, I had an interruption.
Okay, let's get this caller first, and then I get back to you. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero, Kumba.
Thank you for the call. So how was Kumba today? Tell us. I don't know what happened today. I didn't see any footage from Kumbao, Bamenda, anywhere else. I think the only place I saw was Batibo and Ndu. So tell me, how was Kumba today? How was the lockdown there today?
Kumba was deserted and even a fly could not be seen today.
You guys really make us very, very, very proud. Now, I have always said this. After Bamenda, Kumba is the biggest city in Ambazonia. That is after Bamenda. And we are really, really proud of Kumba. Your colonial, was it mayor or DO, came out yesterday. We could feel his frustration in the voice. Tell us, how is he feeling today?
I think he will feel bad concerning what he spoke yesterday and nothing was done reversing what he was planning people should go to work and do. I think he will be very, very disappointed with his people, but I'm happy for the decision that the people took.
I hope he won't commit suicide.
That is what I don't know. If he cares, who cares?
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Any other message you'd like to pass across?
Yes, I have a message to pass across.
Go on.
Concerning the circulation of tomorrow, we just mentioned that private cars will not be able to circulate within the town. And my question I was about asking was, if those who are working in the hospital, like doctors and nurses who are staying in far off to reach area like bikes, can't they use their own private cars to go about tomorrow?
Bishop John, I'll let you answer that question.
Well,
thank you for the call.
We decided contrary to that. Unfortunately, during this time of the lockdown, they will have to take taxis or bike. They will have to hire a taxi or a bike to go to work.
Okay, that's a good answer. I hope you got the answer there from Bishop John. I think at this moment is a moment of sacrifice, and so anybody going to work, who has to go to work, like doctors and nurses, they can use bikes and taxis, as we said, on Fridays. What do they do within the week, Bishop John?
Say that again.
What do they do within the week? I mean, what do they do between Friday, between Mondays and Thursdays? I mean, the doctors and the nurses.
Stay home.
Stay home. People will die.
They will not die.
Thank you.
Secretaries, you can even start for 21 days. You will not die.
Well, I hope nobody dies, and I hope they find a way to get there. I think doctors should get to work at all costs. Nurses should get to work at all costs. I think it's very, very necessary. It's very important. We observe that. Okay, thank you for the call, sir. I hope you got the answer here.
Yes, I got the answer, but that was my stand as a doctor to how do I get to work. That was why I was asking that question.
Okay, so you are a doctor.
Yes, of course.
How did you get, if I may ask, how did you get there yesterday and today?
Yesterday and today we were in the house. We didn't go anywhere. So it's just tomorrow that we are about to go out.
Okay, listen, if you can make it, you make it. If you can't make it, I don't know what to say. Maybe you call your supervisor and say, you know, there's lockdown and I can't make it. But if there is an emergency, let me know. I will trek to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. We all have to sacrifice. Thank you. All right. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening. Yeah. Evening.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Good evening.
I can hear you. Good evening. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm joining you right away from Mutengene.
Okay, tell me, how was lockdown in Mutengene today?
Wow, quite perfect.
Oh, was perfect. I like the word perfect.
Yeah. Store was shut down.
All stores were shut down, okay?
No taxis. Yeah, no bike, no taxis.
I guess it was the same in Tico, right?
Yes.
Now tell me from your understanding, what is happening in Victoria?
Victoria is actually stubborn, very, very stubborn. Something needs to be done there. Something needs to be done. The restoration force, you have to increase our technology to catch up Victoria, because it seems as if La Republic have dominated us in Victoria.
Okay, thank you. And was there any vehicle movement between Mutengene and Victoria?
Just few.
Okay, good. All right, thank you for that information. What is your contribution today?
I think Ayabachu and the rest, what they are doing, Secretary Chris, I can bear with you that even you cannot stop the struggle. Ayabachu cannot stop the struggle, and you yourself cannot stop the struggle. The struggle was initiated by God. So, for our own understanding, God will do something. And we just believe we are coming to the end of our independence.
All right. Thank you. You made the point.
I want to ask something.
Yes.
You said on the 1st of October gonna be a lockdown. It means it's our Independence Day.
No. Yeah, it's good you mentioned that. 1st of October, our Independence Day is a Friday, and remember, we don't have lockdowns on Fridays, right?
Okay.
You know, I had mentioned last week that this lockdown is not about locking down our Independence Day. Our Independence Day is a Friday, and Fridays are not on the calendar of lockdown.
Okay, I hope you guys do something there in the United Nations. You continue mounting pressure and stay blessed.
Thank you. You have a great night. Okay.
Say Chris.
Hello.
Somebody made a recommendation.
Hello. Okay, Bishop John, I'll get back to you. Hello. Okay, we lost that caller. Bishop John, go on, please.
Yes, that's the Secretary of State for Health and Social Services just called. He said the people who are working in the hospital, they don't take provision so that those who are working can stay at work during the days of the lockdown, so that they will not be caught going back and forth when it is locked down, because they are not allowed to move. So they can make provision. That's what happened even in civilized, developed countries. When there is a major emergency or crisis, those who are in the hospitals will just stay there to do the work. So now they already know they should make that provision and be working and just stay at work during those periods of lockdown, so that they can go home when it is over. That's another answer to that person who was calling.
All right, thank you. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello, sir.
Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm Victoria. This is Immigration Investigation Officer.
Immigration Investigation Officer. All right. Tell us, you seem to be an intelligent officer. Tell us why Victoria is what it is.
Yeah, Victoria is too stubborn concerning this, our struggle, and all the family people who are here, they will carry on their business, their daily activity as if nothing is happening. It is time for the restoration force of FACO should do something, and which will make Limbes to know that they are alive and they are working, because all the town, all the street in Victoria was very busy, active, everything was normal. It was as if there was no lockdown. ordered by the interim government. So, and this contradiction of Ayabacho have made many people to be confused when he came out and said there is no lockdown, and they are sending out messages, audio messages, and writing. So secretaries, the interim government have to do something.
All right.
So that Limbe Victoria should understand that they are under the control of the interim government of Ambazonia people.
All right. Thank you, sir. We hear you, and let's see what happens in the coming days. Have a good evening. Okay, let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Yes, hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, good evening or good afternoon. I don't know where you are calling from, sir. How are we doing today?
Well, I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to clarify two things, but I think I heard your counterpart just said something in the line of what I was about to say. I think that problem is solved. What he said was that the doctors and the nurses can stay at work. I think that's the better answer to the question that someone said earlier. Moving to the situation in Limbe. Sorry. Moving to the situation in Victoria.
Thank you.
Yes, because it's Victoria.
Yes.
The situation in Victoria is a little bit, I think people are a little bit scared. I'll tell you this because when some years back, not long ago, I was over there in Victoria, where I was born. Every office that you enter in Victoria today, you see, even before they even speak that foreign language, you can tell, just by looking at them, you can tell that they are from the other side of the Mongo. They will welcome you, they will receive you with a foreign language, So in Limbe, in Victoria, your neighbor is a francophone. Your tenant is a so people are kind of timid.
Yeah.
I think that place is a lot of infiltration in Victoria.
Yeah.
One time I was walking around in Down Beach there, and I could tell that someone was actually trailing me. So people are kind of it's not the same Victoria that we knew growing up. It's a lot of infiltrators. It's a lot of, I think that, so taking all this into play, our restoration, our boys, our restoration guys, restoration forces should, kind of rather, do something about this. But that, I think that is, these are all the things that play into the lapses that we're seeing. People not following, they not respecting the lockdown is because it's not because they. If you talk to people individually, you find that they are actually for the struggle. But your neighbor is over there, your tenant is over there. You don't know whom you're talking to and things like that. I think that's what I want. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, I think you're quite right because, as I mentioned earlier, I hear people tell me what is going on in Victoria is going on because they say 70% are francophones. I don't know how that can be possible. Then you have a purely Ambazonian town and 70% is francophone.
No, it's not. I don't think it's even close to 30%. The problem is that even if it is like 30%, that's a significant number of people.
Correct.
To be, yes. I don't think it's not nowhere close. You see, it's what the francophones have done when they could no longer buy. They just went to CDC. I hope this is something that they've gone to CDC and just cut down trees over there, cut down a whole number of trees, gave some, tried to bribe back with the people, just gave them to shut them down, gave them a whole piece of land, and then built their homes. So that's I mean, it's quite a number of them over there, but it's not nowhere close to 70%. But it's a lot of them there. It's a lot of them. Every office that you enter, you are met with French.
All right. Thank you.
Met with French language.
You're right. Thank you. That situation will be taken care of. I can assure everybody out there. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the contribution.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get to our next caller. Hello. Hello. I can barely hear you, sir. The connection is very poor. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from? From Abakwa. Okay, I learned ghost town. I mean, lockdown was awesome there today too.
Absolutely, of course. We don't play with things like that. We don't play with things like that. So,
what is your contribution, sir?
My contribution is I just decided to contribute because of what the former caller said about this francophones. This francophone. It's a message to francophones that there will be francophones should know that we consider them accomplices to their evil government, and no francophone will ever settle in Amazonia. In Bamenda, you go to Gwen, they are selling Brazilian things there because of francophones. Wherever there is rebellion against our revolution, it is francophones, especially the Bamenda case. So this is a message. Yes, francophones should know that they will never settle in Amazonia, not even a single of them. Because if they were genuine, if they were human beings, they would have compelled their evil leaders to dialogue with us and end this thing. Francophones will never settle in Amazonia. That is a fact. Let them know it. Let them know. And we are winning the war. They should have no illusions about it. They should know that we are going to win the war. That is clear. Then they will go to their territory and they will destroy each other. They will destroy themselves because take Amazonia out of them. They cannot stay on. They will destroy each other. Yeah, so these people are very wicked people, demonic people. They can never be part of Amazonia. This is the message I'm sending to them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We will surely get there by God's grace. Let's look forward to that day. All right. So let's get who is next here. Hello. 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 Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling from, please?
Okay, I'm calling from Mezam County.
And what is your message, sir?
Yeah, I just want to appreciate the wonderful work you people are doing.
Thank you.
Say that in a revolution, we have so many sidetrackings, and that you people should just stay focused on our goal. Joe Ayaba and others will continue to do what they are doing, but if we want to turn eyes on what they are doing, we'll be derailed somewhere. So please, you just keep on. And on the statement that Ground Zero can work on their own without Diaspora, that is a fatal error. Please don't listen to such comments. Let's work together for a common goal, and that common goal is our liberation. Stay focused. If we look at where the French Revolution, those who did history, the leaders somewhere lost control. Please stay focused and let us work as one.
All right, thank you.
Ground Zero cannot work without Diaspora, and Diaspora cannot work without Ground Zero. Let us work together. I am not far from where General BT has just carried out that action, that wonderful action this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have a great night and stay safe. Okay, let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Helsinki, Finland.
Okay, thank you. And what is your contribution?
Yeah, I would like to switch to Pidgin language so people can understand me better.
Okay.
I want to, first of all, I want to express my deep congratulations and the happiness we did from my mind for which way no pity don't do am today. No pity don't bring hope. It don't show the world say the Republic no get hand again for our territory.
Yes,
This
and
thing happen like
and that is
here.
a message we needed. We desperately needed at this moment.
Yes, it come like coincidence. Now God the work. They say this struggle now God ordained struggle. Now truly God ordained struggle because this is a very vital moment. A vital moment. The way la Republic they concoct all the lies them. You see that they go kill school begin and these days they pass up and down only for give that semblance. Say thing they go work a fine. I feel say this video the way they come. I don't see the video the way they come from Sapga. Me ABC me they rebroadcast them every day. For make Camila Republic no say they don't lose control over our territory. Secondly, I want to talk about this lockdown thing. Wait the way interim government do. I'm not say this who they call it. For if interim government bring independence today, I sure say Sunday Yabacho go talk say he no go for Kuya because the interim government bring them.
No, he will deny Ambazonian citizenship. He will choose Biafra.
Yeah, he will choose Biafra or put in name for the Chuku the on wait go be for the not.
You be Chuku Ayaba.
Even if you want to you want criticize lockdown. Now you don't explain them. I really understand them. It means that tomorrow, when parents will go their market, go buy their job. Saturday are the same thing. Sunday are the same thing.
Correct.
Monday normal lockdown. If you look at critically, that means the lockdown then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because that other day them they go out, they go buy their job.
Exactly.
They only one criticize.
Right.
People they only one criticize. And this lockdown don't expose this. It no get no handle because like they talk say ATM more than I don't know the last time we they be eating kiwa ekelebe. We only see on a video with their Photoshop the every day. I want to give my full blessing for the interim government. If I get money even at $50, where I get I go only put them. As we see action, they can wait to be happy. Thank you guys for the great job you are doing, and I pray that God will bless you all abundantly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the phone call. You remain safe out there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think this probably will be our last caller for the day. Let me read this message here. I was that video in Victoria. There is a white van. I was in that video, and the owner did what? Well, I'll get back to this later. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have come to the end of this today. And remember, lockdown takes a little break. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. We pick it up again from our regular ghost towns. And then we continue Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then Friday, again, we take it off. And Saturday and Sunday until we hit September 30th. Friday the 1st will be Amber Independence Celebration, a big one in that matter, our 60th Independence Anniversary. So we're not going to restrict you. Every one of us will got to go out and celebrate it in our own way. Right here at ABC, we're going to be having a very special program event with a live studio audience on September the 26th, commemorating Ambazonian independence. Where we are coming from, where we are going, and where we are going, what we have also achieved at the moment, and where we are going. That is what this will be all about. I look forward to being with you again next week. Please, all of you, remain strong and safe out there. God bless you all, and good night. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, It is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
And to deliver. The Bible says, I send my word to see the performance. It says, as rain and snow falls from the heaven, and the snow return empty, but waters the earth, to bud and flourish, and ye seed to the planter and bread to the eater. It's the same with my words that comes out of my mouth. It does not return empty nor void. They come to accomplish and achieve its purpose. I've been commanded by the voice of the Lord to go outside the rain. As you can see, it's raining. To give this prophecy about this particular nation, which I will not mention the name. If you can check my track history, I've been prophesying about the nation since 2014. You can imagine. I've never given a prophecy over any nation or person like that. Since 2014. Check my track history. YouTube, Facebook. You will see the prophecies. The nation is at the armpit of Africa. Prophetically, spiritually, you are smelling in the nose of God. Lots of bloodshed. Lots of civil war. Lots of corruption. Let me remind you again. God is going to remove the old system, not man, and put a new system. A total change will take place in this nation. It will be biblical, like the days of the Jews, like the days of Moses, the days of David. I'm telling you what I've seen. 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is almost 8 years given a prophecy about a country. Elijah prophesied for 3.5 years that there will not rain. He prophesied again and it rained. Ezekiel prophesied to the dry bones in the valley. It came to life. Be very careful what I'm telling you. 8 years to prophesy about a country. This is not a joke. What is happening in that country, God has allowed for his glory. No man on this life will solve that problem. Only God. Everything in that country will be changed. Even to the flag. Everything. New system, new leaders. There's going to be a coup. You guys like coup in Africa. This will be a spiritual coup. God will take over. God owns the whole world and he owns that land. He promotes and demotes. He will raise his own leaders in that country. And that country will be an example to Africa and the whole world. Change will start happening everywhere. The manifestation of the kingdom of God. I remind you again. That country at the armpit of Africa, going through civil war and turmoil. I've been prophesying about you. I'm a prophet. I'm in nobody's side but God's side. I've been prophesying about this nation for almost 8 years. I'm reminding you. Again, let me tell you what I saw. I saw a pregnant woman giving birth. And the woman tried to give birth. The enemy was blocking the baby from not coming out. A baby boy. That's a prophetic parable. And the enemy had tried abortion, miscarriage, barrenness, but that woman was persistent, bleeding, and doctors had no choice but to operate and remove. What does that mean? That doctor represents Jesus Christ. Those nurses represent the angels. That woman represents this country I'm talking about. That operation
instead of the vagina, but from the stomach, it represents that it's a critical problem. The blood represents the bloodshed. Listen to me. I'm speaking to you in parables. This thing is very close. Very close. The hand of the Lord will do great things. God will root out, pull down, tear down, destroy, and build and plan. You will see it. Shalom. To God be the glory. Amen.